Yo, hello, hello, everybody. Hello, nobody. I don't think anybody's in the chat right now. But if you're watching this as a video or something, what's good? What's poppin'? We are about to, freaking re-embark, join again. What's up, Shaughnessy Feeney? Welcome into the chat. First person, let's go. You got to see it. Welcome back, man. Or girl. I don't know who you are. I'm not gonna assume. But hi, how you doing? Welcome in. Just give me one little second. I'm like posting a thingy, and then we will jump into this, because I have a lot of thoughts on this one. I have a lot of thoughts before we get into it. Crap, what are we gonna say? Yeah, okay, cool. But yes. I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good. Yo, what's up, Anthony Belding? Nice to see you in the chat again as well. Very cool. Happy that you guys are back. Happy that I'm not gonna be doing the stream alone. It'd be very awkward having nobody to talk to. I mean, it wouldn't be awkward. It'd just be like me reading, like, to myself. Like, it would just be that. But like, it's a lot more fun when people are here. Yo, Madsen, you love to see it. Welcome back, Madsen Murder in the chat again. Dubs all around. I was just swiping back and forth on my phone. I forgot what the hell I was doing. Fuck. There. That. I always feel like my music is too loud, but you guys tell me it's fine, so I'm just not even gonna stress about it. All right. So, as you all know, we are reading Percy Jackson and the Battle of Labyrinth 8 and 9. We might read 10, depending on how we get through the first two. I'm feeling after the first two, but I'm not going to promise that. But I'm doing 8 and 9 because Anthony told me not a single read streams I'll pass to my chat. Spam, you love to see it. You'll love to see it. I'm doing 8 and 9 because you, Anthony, told me that is what we should be getting into. This is the next, you'd win. Oh, are we going to see a chat battle off between the two people who join my stream most frequently? I'm not mad at it. But what was I about to say? That you told me to, and somebody else told me that those weren't the best ones. I think it's Connie Faye told me something like that. Told me that we're not good, but I was like, I haven't done a read stream in a while. I haven't been able to read Battle of Labyrinth as frequently as I thought I would be able to. So I was like, you know what? Let's just do this one. Why not? It's gonna be a short little endeavor, anyways. But this one is seeming really interesting to me. Like, the most interesting out of, we're gonna have an MHA cosplay son or a JJK daughter. MHA cosplay son, easily, because My Hero Academia is a good show. My Hero Academia is a good show, and there are a lot of actual cool characters in it. But this is like seeing very different. Shit. Hold on. Posting thingy, then words will work better, I promise. Bam. Okay, good. Hi there, good to see you again. It's Bonnie Faye. I said your name earlier, but I said it's Connie Faye, and I said it wrong. My apologies. But hi! Nice to see you again. It's always nice to have you in the chat once more for another read stream. This one seems really interesting because Rick is like breezing through the typical like tradition that he had set up for the past 3 books. It was typically get to Camp Half-Blood around the end of chapter 4, start on the quest around the end of chapter 8 or 9-ish. Like, that was like, and then the rest of the book is just quest. Like, that was typically how it went, right? But for this one, Rick's like, nah, we get to Camp Half-Blood, end of chapter 1. Chapter 2, we're already there. Quest starts chapter 5. I was like, no, we are booking it. Like, most of this is going to be Labyrinth stuff. Most of this is going to be, like, most of this is going to be quest. I was like, okay, what am I in store for? Because I really think, ever since, like, Titan's Curse, it's, like, a lot stronger, I think, narratively and, like, structure-wise than the other two. Even though the other two were good, obviously. But this is, like more like a gripping thing. Rick is like starting to come into his own as a writer. I feel like things that have been foreshadowed in Titan's Curse, Rachel coming back, which she hasn't yet. I'm surprised that she didn't come to camp with us. I thought that was a thing we were gonna do. Maybe she's not gonna have a full role until like the last Olympian, which would be crazy. But, and then, what is it? I don't remember what I was saying. It was something about, oh yeah, like the Labyrinth is like a much more interesting setting than we've been in prior. Like before, we've been like on top of America and the Sea of Monsters. Like the only other, like the Sea of Monsters was interesting as well. I like the Sea of Monsters, probably my second favorite. But the Labyrinth is definitely my favorite one so far, just because freaking it's changing like every like paragraph. Every paragraph, it looks different. That's probably why this book is so thick, because Rick has to, like, describe the Labyrinth again and again, because it's changing over and over again, which is so cool. And all the monsters that we've encountered so far are so creepy. Like, we, like, saw, like, a minor god with, like, 2 heads that are, like, looking this way and shit. And, like, we saw the Kampe woman who was like the grossest description I've ever, and the guy with like 100 hands flopping all over each other, that's freaking nasty. Like all the monsters like are creepy as shit in this one, and the environment is creepy too. You could have skipped 8 and 9 if you want to, because after this 11 through 14 and 16 to 20, so the entire second half of the book. Yeah, I mean, no, I'm still gonna do those. Please read 11 through 13. I will read 11 through 13. I will, because I was planning to do a stream for 11 through 14. So those are them. So it will be covered. At this point, each book, rather than having a slow start, they are starting off sprinting. I love that. I like the slow start in the beginning for some of them, but I like it when you can change it up and like have the rhythm be different. That's cool. The Battle of the Labyrinth is probably the most beat up book on my bookshelf. Scotch tape is keeping it together. Yeah, I'm trying really hard to read these books like carefully. Like I don't want them to be like ripped to shreds by the time I'm done with them, because I like to sit the books on my bookshelf and have them look nice. And you know, Bens give like paperback book character and all that, but I don't want like my friends have like Percy Jackson books. Like my friend has a Percy Jackson book with like just the entire back is just gone, and it's like I don't want that. I like my books to be mostly intact, so I'm trying to read these very gently so they don't end up like that. My Battle of the Labyrinth is looking like it's been through the Labyrinth itself. Yeah, no, I want my books to be clean. I want my books to be clean. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know. You guys told me these aren't the most exciting chapters, so I'm not expecting too much. I just want to like enjoy some Battle of the Labyrinth, because like it's good. I'm really excited for like what we're going through. Like with stuff like Annabeth breaking the rules, which I thought was really cool, and she's like really stressed. Like she's really pressed about like what the decision that she has to make on this quest, which she's not telling us for some reason, which is like we need to know. Annabeth is if one of us is gonna die. If I'm Percy, like Annabeth, if I'm gonna die, tell me that shit. I need to fucking know. Like I need to know if I'm gonna die. If my brother's on this quest, I need to know if he's gonna die. My best friend's on this quest, I need to know if you're gonna die. You're on this quest, I need to know who's gonna die. Like that's me. And not just, and also I love Tyson's back. Tyson's still probably my second favorite character in the whole series, so I love that Tyson's back as well. And Nico is like, whoa, in this, like his first scene introduction where he's just like, he looks older and he's edgier and he has an aviator on, and he's like, what? I hate that I used to be into this, and he's throwing his mytho magic cards in the fire, and it's like, it's terrible, it's so sad, but he's like really gifted with his powers, because like somebody's taught him. It's like a ghost, but I'm thinking that it's actually Kronos. Like that's my theory, that Kronos is in his head trying to get to him. That'd be like probably the best thing to do, is like pretend to be a ghost, be like, hey, oh, I'm gonna try to use your power, because that would make the most sense. But Nico seems to be even more skilled with his like death god abilities than Percy's with his water god abilities, so that's something at this point at least. So that's cool. I left it out in the rain on my trampoline one night in 7th grade, and it's never been the same. No. No, you can't do that. Why are you reading a book on a trampoline? First of all, that sounds like a terrible experience. That doesn't sound like an enjoyable read. Having Tyson come on another quest was a spectacular choice. Agree. Love Tyson. Freaking love Tyson. Rick, if you're watching this stream, which you're not, if you were to see my channel, cast me as Tyson in season 2, please. I would love to be Tyson so much. That's I would love to be Tyson, dude. Sadly, I'm not tall enough to be Tyson, but we can work it out. We can be fine. Tyson's probably not black either, but like, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Trust. Just cast me as Tyson. Everything will go great. I'll do great. I promise. I swear. If not, you can like kill me or something. But I promise you, I'll do a good job. What is Chapter 5's title again? Now that you mention it. Nico buys Happy Meals for the Dead. That is a good one. I love the chapter titles in this. They're all really fun. I have a big thing about like titles and like things like you've probably seen like me judging the titles of each of these books. God, we've talked for like 10 minutes and we haven't started the book. I'm gonna shut up soon because I want to start the book. Because I've talked for 10 minutes. I usually only talk for like 6. But let's say this one last thing and then we'll start the book. But you see me judging titles for things. You see me judging them. So I like when things have really thought out, like clever and good titles. And Percy Jackson, all titles are like, I like them a lot. I haven't really had one complaint for like a chapter title or anything like that. Seeing Clarice after a secret quest from the Titan's Curse. Yeah, that is interesting. I wish Clarice was on this quest too, because I love Clarice. Like, I love who she is for Percy. And like, I wish she was. I want more Clarice stuff. And like, thinking that she was in the labyrinth this whole time, and like even having Clarice be scared of this makes it like really cool. It was so fun on a sunny day. Perfect. I forgot it out there. Now it's wrinkly and torn. That's sad. I couldn't enjoy that. Like me bouncing while I'm like reading, or even if you're like probably just laying there, but like still, I need like a solid surface. Like I can't even lay down while I read. I sit up. Don't even these early rambles are great. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed them. But still, we have been talking for twice as much as I usually do. And I do want to get into this. So, do I have any other thoughts before I shut up and read this? Let me go through the chapter titles really quickly before I can remember if I did talk about anything. The Underworld sends me a prank call. That was interesting. Oh yeah, that he got a call from like nobody in particular. That the iris message just turned on, a collect call. Nah, that was Bianca's ghost, bro. That was Bianca's ghost. I'm calling it right now. That was Bianca's ghost. We played tag with scorpions. That one was cool. Emma breaks the rules. Talked about that one. Nico We meet the god with 2 faces. That one was creepy. Tyson leads a jailbreak. Okay. Yeah, that's all I've read so far. Okay. We're good. All right, let's get into this. Let me take a swig of water. But I do feel bad that I did that to my book. Yeah, me personally, I can't do book gore. If like I can't like if I rip apart my books, I've been taught to my best friends. Like this is gonna sound really lame. I loved going to the library in elementary school. The librarian was super cool to me, so I can't disrespect her by like tearing up my books. Like my librarians were always like loved me in school. So I don't think anyone has mentioned it, but there's a side book Rick wrote after the 4th and 5th book. It's called The Demigod Diaries, with 3 short stories and just some fun information about the characters. Oh, really? Should I read that before I get into The Last Olympian? Or should I read it out? Or does it not matter? You let me know. But yes, took my swig of water. So you let me know, I'll read that in a second. But right now, let's get into the reason why we're all here. Freaking Percy Jackson. Oh shit. The Thing. Bam. Nope, that's not it. Hold on. The Thing? Thingo Burr? Bam. There we go. Woo, look at me go. I'm a big streamer guy. Now, I could have made a bigger thing, like a more creative thing, but that's just what we're working with right now. I'm lazy. I'm not doing more. Actually, probably it has some spoilers from this book, but not the next, if I remember correctly. Okay. So, you guys let me know if I should read that in between book 4 and book 5. I've heard Demigod Files before. I haven't heard Demigod Diaries. I know, I've heard of it, probably is Demigod Files. Okay, so don't read it before? That's what you're saying? Okay. But yes, book time. God, 15 minutes. Book time. We visit the Demon Dude Ranch. We finally stopped in a room full of waterfalls. The floor was one big pit, ringed by a slippery stone walkway. Around us, oh, it's not a stream if I don't stutter terribly. Around us, on all four walls, water tumbled from huge pipes. The water spilled down to the pit, and even when I shined a light, I couldn't see the bottom. Briareus slumped against the wall. He scooped up water in a dozen hands and washed his face. The pit goes straight to Tartarus, he murmured. I should jump in and save you trouble. Don't talk that way, Annabeth told me. You can come back to camp with us. You can help us prepare. You know more about fighting titans than anybody. I have nothing to offer, Briareus said. I have lost everything. What about your brothers? Tyson said. The other two must still stand as tall as mountains. We can take you to them. Briareus' expression morphed into something even sadder, his grieving face. There are no more. They faded. What? The waterfalls thundered. Dyson stared into the pit and blinked tears out of his eyes. What exactly do you mean, they faded? I asked. I thought monsters were immortal like gods. Percy, Grover said weakly, even immortality has its limits. Sometimes monsters get forgotten, and they lose their will to stay immortal. Interesting. So everything that is immortal wills to be that way. That's interesting. Look, if you can hear that in the background, that's my loud ass family. Please ignore them. I can't stand them. What is it? Looking at Grover's face, I wondered if he was thinking of Pan. I remembered something Medusa had told us once. How her sisters, the other two Gorgons, had passed on and left her alone. Then last year Apollo had said something of the old god, Helios, disappearing and leaving him with the duties of the sun god. I never thought about it too much, but now, looking at Briareus, I realized how terrible it would be to be so old, thousands and thousands of years old, and totally alone. That is true. That would be the worst. Bro, coming from a loud-ass family, I get, yes. Ooh, they scream so much, they can't stop doing it. I'm allowed to, I'm not even gonna lie. So it rubs off on me, but still. When I'm streaming, it's annoying. I must go, Briareus said. Kronos' army will invade camp. Kronos' army will invade camp, Tyson said. We need help. Briareus hung his head. I cannot, Cyclops. You are strong. Not anymore, Briareus rose. Hey! I grabbed one of his arms and pulled him aside where the roar of the water would hide our words. Briareus, we need you. In case you haven't noticed, Tyson believes in you. He risked his life for you. I told him about everything. Luke's invasion plan and the Labyrinth entrance at camp. Daedalus' workshop, Kronos' golden coffin. Briareus just shook his head. I cannot, demigod. I do not have a finger gun to win this game. To prove his point, he made 100 finger guns. Maybe that's why monsters fade, I said. Maybe it's not about what mortals believe. Maybe it's because you give up on yourself. His pure brown eyes regarded me. His face morphed into an expression I recognized. Shame. Then he turned and trudged off down the corridor until he was lost in the shadows. Tyson. Dude, first of all, that's sad. Secondly, Percy winning a game of rock, paper, scissors with gun is the most juvenile and big brain thing. And I love it. I love it so much. That's fantastic. That's like, yes, I used to do that all the time. And I forgot about it until now, and I will implore that strategy once again in every rock, paper, scissors game I play. Tyson sobbed. It's okay. Grover hesitantly patted his shoulder, which must have taken all his courage. Tyson sneezed. It's not okay, goat boy. He was my hero. I wanted to make him feel better, but I wasn't sure what to say. Oh man, Tyson. Finally, Annabeth stood and shouldered her backpack. Come on, guys. This pit is making me nervous. Let's find a better place to camp for the night. We settled in a corridor made of huge marble blocks. It looked like it could have been part of a Greek tomb with bronze torch holders fastened to the walls. It had to be an older part of the maze. Annabeth decided this was a good sign. We must be close to Daedalus' workshop, she said. Get some rest, everybody. We'll keep going in the morning. How do we know what it's morning? Grover asked. Just rest, she insisted. Grover didn't need to be told twice. Except he was just told twice, but whatever. He pulled a heap of straw out of his pack, ate some of it, made a pillow out of the rest, and he was snoring in no time. Tyson took longer to getting to sleep. He tinkered with some metal scraps from his building kit for a while, but whatever he was making, he wasn't happy with it. He kept disassembling the pieces. I'm sorry I lost the shield, I told him. You worked so hard to repair it. Tyson looked up, his eyes were bloodshot from crying. Do not worry, brother. You saved me. You wouldn't have had to if Briareus had helped. He was just scared, I said. I'm sure he'll get over it. He is not strong, Tyson said. He is not important anymore. Aw, come on, big guy. You don't believe that. He heaved a big, sad sigh, then closed his eyes. The metal pieces fell out of his hand, still unassembled, and Tyson began to snore. I tried to fall asleep myself, but I couldn't. Something about getting chased by a large dragon lady with poison swords made it real hard to relax. I picked up my bedroll and dragged it over to where Annabeth was sitting, keeping watch. I sat down next to her. You should sleep, she said. Can't. 1 second, hold on. Somebody's yelling at me. I tell them, I'm like, hey, I'm streaming. Don't talk to me while I'm doing this. And then they're like, hey, Kyler, this is the perfect time where you should do stuff. You should be doing stuff now. This is the time. This is the time where you should get up and all do a bunch of chores. Percy hitting that man with 21st century rock, paper, scissors, strats. He hit him with the meta. That's crazy. I don't have Demigod Diaries, but I think Demigod Files is what you're talking about, Anthony. And I think you read it before you read Book 5. Okay. So I should read it before Book 5, is what I'm hearing. Okay. If that's the final decision, I will be doing that. I just skimmed a bit. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Actually, while we're here, while we're on this conversation, let me just look up Demigod Files for a second. Demigod Diaries, I mean. Is that a thing? Oh, no. Demigod Diaries is a thing. Wow. Oh. It's set 5 years before the start of the Lightning Thief. Oh, okay. Interesting. I didn't, and read it after was just fine. It's really good. Captain 7 Avenger! I don't think I've ever seen you here before, but welcome in. It's nice to have people, especially new people. Pretty cool. I read it after and it was just fine. That's cool. But yeah, I'm sure you can read it after as well. But like, if it canonically takes place in between the two, I would probably want to read it before, unless it has spoilers for Book 5 or something, and I won't do that. Because I know Percy tells his stories from past tense, so he might be like, before I defeated Kronos or something. Like, I'm not gonna be like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it about how you defeated Kronos. Where am I? Large dragon lady with poison swords made it real hard to relax. I picked up my bedroll and dragged over to where Annabeth was sitting, keeping watch. I sat down next to her. You should sleep, she said. Can't. You doing alright? Sure. Thursday leading the quest. Just great. We'll get there, I said. We'll find the workshop before Luke does. She brushed her hair out of her face. She had a smudge of dirt on her chin. I imagined what she must have looked like when she was little, wandering around the country with Thalia and Luke. Once she'd saved them from the mansion of the evil Cyclops when she was only... What the world? 1 second. Every time. I just told him this. Every time I just told him this. He just comes in. Just comes in. Ooh, I can't wait till I move out. I cannot wait. Ooh, that's so annoying. You read it before. I read a passage with specific characters where it would make more sense than to read it after. Okay. Alright. Then I will be taking a break after battling Labyrinth to read the Demigod Diaries. Noted. Demigod Files. Demigod Diaries comes before. Which is, now that if I knew about that, I probably would have read that prior to Lightning Thief, but doesn't actually matter. So, it does take place also came out before Last Olympian. Okay, cool. Got you. Makes sense. When she was little, wandering around the country with Thalia and Luke. Once she'd saved them from the mansion of the evil Cyclops when she was only 11. Even when she looked scared, like now, I knew she had a lot of guts. I just wish the quest was logical, she complained. I mean, we're traveling, but we have no idea where we'll end up. And how can you walk from New York to California in a day? Space isn't the same in the maze. I know. It's just... She looked at me hesitantly. Percy, I was kidding myself. All that planning and reading, I don't have a clue where we're going. I love this. Putting Annabeth in, like who's always on top of things in a state of, like, I have no idea what the fuck is going on. Love that. TBH, I wish Rick made a series about young Annabeth, Thalia, and Luke. That would go so crazy. That would go so hard. But I'm thinking that's what Demigod Diaries is, because I just looked it up and I read, like, the first 2 words of the synopsis. And then it says, like, set 5 years before the start of Lightning Thief, narrated by Luke Castellan. So I'm imagining that's what that is. Imagine that's what that is. That'd be really sick. What is it? You do, all that planning, I don't have a clue where we're going. You're doing great. Besides, we know what we're doing. We never know what we're doing. It always works out. Remember Cersei's Island? She snorted, you made a cute guinea pig. In Waterland, how you got us thrown off that ride? I got us thrown off. That was totally your fault. See, it'll be fine. She smiled, which I was glad to see, but the smile faded quickly. Percy, what did Hera mean when she said you knew the way to get to the maze? I don't know. I mean, honestly. Tell me if you did. Sure. Maybe. Maybe what? Maybe if you told me the last line of the prophecy would help. Annabeth shivered. Not here. Not in the dark. What about the choice Janice mentioned? Hera said. Stop, Annabeth snapped. Then she took a shaky breath. I'm sorry, Percy. I'm just stressed. But I don't. I've got to think about it. We sat in silence, listening to a strange creaks and groans in the maze, an echo of stones grinding together as tunnels changed and expanded. The dark made me think about visions I'd seen of Nico D'Angelo, and suddenly I realized something. Nico is down here somewhere, I said. Yo! That's how he disappeared from camp. He found the labyrinth, then he found a path that led him down even farther to the underworld. But now he's back in the maze. He's coming after me. No way. No way. That's what Nico found. That's so cool. I love that. I never read Demigod Diaries. I need to check it out. Yeah, apparently I need to check it out too, because that sounds like a really cool thing. It gives some POVs, as I remember. It's been a while. Where I hate Hera. What I thought Hera was pretty cool, to be honest, but you know more about her than I do, so. The Labyrinth is a horrifying concept. It really is. It's really scary. Like, it's really scary, and I love how creepy it is for this kids series. I think that's really good. Then he found the path that led him down to the underworld, but now he's back in the maze. He's coming after me. Annabeth was quiet for a long time. Percy, I hope you're wrong. But if you're right, she stared at the flashlight. She stared at the flashlight beam, casting a dim circle on the stone wall. I had a feeling she was thinking about her prophecy. I'd never seen her look more tired. How about I take first watch, I said. I'll wake you if anything happens. Annabeth looked like she wanted to protest, but she just nodded, slumped onto her bedroll, and closed her eyes. When it was my turn to sleep, I dreamed I was back in the old man's labyrinth prison. It looked more like a workshop now. Tables were littered with measuring instruments. A forge burned red hot in the corner. The boy I'd seen in the last dream was stoking the bellows. Except he was taller now, almost my age. A weird funnel device was attached to the forge's chimney, trapping the smoke and heat and channeling it through a pipe into the floor, next to a big bronze manhole cover. It was daytime, and the sky was blue, but the walls of the maze cast deep shadows across the workshop. After being in tunnels so long, I found it weird that part of the labyrinth could be open to the sky. Somehow that made the maze seem like an even crueler place. Yeah. So the walls of the maze cast deep shadows across the workshop after being in tunnels so long. Weird. Yeah, okay. The old man looked sickly. He was terribly thin, his hands raw and red from working. White hair covered his eyes, and his tunic was smudged with grease. He was bent over a table, working on some kind of long metal patchwork, like a swath of chainmail. He picked up a delicate curl of bronze and fitted it into place. Done, he announced. It's done. He picked up his project. It was so beautiful, my heart leaped. Metal wings constructed from thousands of interlocking bronze feathers. There were 2 seats. One still lay on the table. Daedalus stretched the frame, and the wings expanded to 20 feet. Part of me knew it could never fly. It was too heavy. There'd be no way to get it off the ground. But the craftsmanship was amazing. Metal feathers caught the light and flashed 30 different shades of gold. The boy left the bellows and ran over to see. He grinned despite the fact that he was grimy and sweaty. "Father, you're a genius!" The old man smiled. "Tell me something I don't know." Icarus. Icarus? I know my boy Icarus. And if I know anything about my boy Icarus, he's about to fly a little bit too close to the sun. He's about to fly a little. Ooh. I love interworking these like legendary Greek characters. Well, that's the whole point, but it's still cool every time. Now hurry, it will take at least an hour to attach them. Come. You first, Icarus said. The old man protested, but Icarus insisted. You made them, father. You should get the honor of wearing them first. The boy attached a leather harness to his father's chest, like climbing gear, with straps that ran from his shoulders to his wrists. Then he began fastening on the wings, using a metal canister that looked like an enormous hot glue gun. The wax compound should hold for several hours, Daedalus said nervously as his son worked. Yeah, I bet. But we must let it set first, and we would do well to avoid flying too high or too low. The sea would wet the wax seals, and the sun's heat would loosen them. The boy finished. Yes, father, we've been through this a million times. Apparently you didn't fucking listen to that shit. Apparently you weren't listening because, you know what? You know. I'm not even gonna... One cannot be too careful. I have complete faith in your inventions, father. No one has ever been as smart as you. The old man's eyes shone. It was obvious he loved his son more than anything in the world. Now I will do your wings, and give mine a chance to set properly. Come. It was slow going. The old man's hands fumbled with the straps. He had a hard time keeping the wings in position when he sealed them. His own metal wings seemed to weigh down, getting in his way while he tried to work. Too slow, the old man muttered. I am too slow. Take your time, father, the boy said. The guards aren't due until... Boom! The workshop door shuttered. Oh, shit. Yeah, and you don't got time. Daedalus had barred them from the inside with wooden brace, but they still shook on their hinges. Hurry, Icarus said. Boom, boom. Something heavy was slamming to the doors. The brace held, but a crack appeared on the left door. Daedalus worked furiously. A drop of hot wax spilled into Icarus' shoulder. The boy winced, but did not cry out. When his left wing was sealed to the straps, Daedalus began working on the right. We must have more time, Daedalus murmured. They are too early. We need more time for the seal to hold. It'll be fine, Icarus said, as his father finished the right wing. Help me with the manhole. Hold on. Alright. Hera, yeah, she is something. Oh no, she's gonna do something mean. I like her. Nico slays so hard in this book and the next one. Dude, I'm really excited to see more Nico stuff. I'm really excited to see more. Definitely not a Hera fan. Dang, we're all not Hera fans in this? I like her so far. She was trying to help us and stuff. Interesting. With my claustrophobia, I would walk 5 feet into the maze, turn around, see the entrance disappear, then die of a heart attack. Bro, same. I'm so claustrophobic, it's not even funny. It's not even a joke. We've all skipped past the tutorials or instruction book to start as fast as possible and paid for our hubris. This is true. This is true. Fuck the tutorial. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. It's not hard. X, B, Y, you know what it is. Hurry, Icarus said. Boom, boom. Something slammed. It was heavy slamming to the door. The brace held, but cracked appeared in the left door. Daedalus worked furiously. A drop of hot wax. We must have more time. Okay, here I am. It'll be fine, Icarus said, as his father finished the right wing. Help me with the manhole. Crash! The door splintered, and the head of the bronze battering ram emerged from the breach. Axes cleared the debris, and 2 armed guards entered the room, followed by the king with the golden crown and the spear-shaped beard. Well, well, the king said with a cruel smile. Going somewhere? Daedalus and his son froze, their metal wings glimmering on their backs. We're leaving, Minos, the old man said. King Minos chuckled. I was curious to see how far you'd get on this little project before I dashed your hopes. I must say I'm impressed. The king admired their wings. They look like metal chickens, he decided. Perhaps we should pluck you and make a soup. The guards laughed stupidly. Metal chickens, repeated. Soup. Okay. That shouldn't be as funny as it is. Shut up, the king said. Then he turned again to Daedalus. You let my daughter escape, old man. You drove my wife to madness. You killed my monster and made me the laughingstock of the Mediterranean. You will never escape me. What? Okay, interesting. Icarus grabbed the wax gun and sprayed it at the king, who stepped back in surprise. The guards rushed forward, but each got a stream of hot wax in their face. The vent! Icarus yelled to his father. Get them, King Minos raged. Together, the old man and his son pried open the manhole cover, and a column of hot air blasted out of the ground. The king watched the incredulous as the inventor and son shot onto the sky. That's a big word for middle school kids. Incredulous? As the inventor and son shot into the sky, on their bronze wings carried by the updraft. Shoot them! The king yelled, but his guards had brought no bows. One threw his sword in desperation, but Daedalus and Icarus were already out of reach. Let's freaking go! They wheeled about the maze in the king's palace, then zoomed across the city of Knossos and out past the rocky shores of Crete. Icarus laughed. Free, father! You did it! You're about to freaking die. If I know anything, you're about to freaking die. The boy spread his wings to their full limit and soared away on the wind. Wait, Daedalus called. Be careful! But Icarus was already out over the open sea, heading north and delighting in their good luck. He soared up and scared an eagle out of its flight path, then plummeted toward the sea like he was born to fly, pulling out of a nosedive at the last second, bro. He's flexing. He is flexing on these hosts, and he doesn't even know that he's about to freaking die. His sandals skimmed the waves. Stop that, Daedalus called, but the wind carried his voice away. His son was drunk on his own freedom. Oof. Oof. What a sentence. What a way to phrase that. I love that. Drunk on his own freedom. The old man struggled to catch up, gliding clumsily after his son. They were miles from Crete, over deep sea, when Icarus looked back and saw his father's worried expression. Icarus smiled. Don't worry, father. You're a genius. I trust your handiwork. The first metal feather shook loose from his wings and fluttered away. Then another. Icarus wobbled in midair. Hold on. Yeah. There. Suddenly, he was shedding bronze feathers, which twirled away from him like a flock of frightened birds. Icarus, his father cried, glide! Extend the wings! Stay as still as possible! But Icarus flapped his arms, desperately trying to reassert control. The left wing went first, ripping away from the straps. Father! Icarus cried, and then he fell. The wings stripped away until he was just a boy, in a climbing harness and a white tunic. His arms extended in a useless attempt to glide. I woke with a start, feeling like I was falling. The corridor was dark. In the constant moaning of the labyrinth, I thought I could hear the anguished cry of Daedalus calling his son's name, as Icarus, his only joy, plummeted toward the sea, 300 feet below, dead. In other words, dead as a bitch. Dead as hell. Dead as a bitch and dead as hell. And I thought he flew too high, and then, I guess he flew too high at first, and then it started to melt on. Okay, yeah, sure. Yep. Bro got lost in the sauce. He really did. Bro he was swimming, bro. He was swimming, dive deep. He didn't know which way was up in that sauce, bro. There was no morning in the maze. But once everybody woke, and had a fabulous breakfast of granola bars and juice boxes, we kept traveling. I didn't mention my dream. Something about it had really freaked me out, and I didn't think the others needed to know that. The old stone tunnels changed to dirt with cedar beams like a gold mine or something, and Annabeth started getting agitated. This isn't right, she said. It should still be stone. We came to a cave where stalactites hung low from the ceiling. In the center of the dirt floor was a rectangular pit, like a grave. Grover shivered. It smelled like the underworld in here. Then I saw something glinting at the edge of the pit, a foil wrapper. I shined my light into the hole and saw a half-chewed cheeseburger floating in the brown carbonated muck. Nico, I said. He was summoning the dead again. Tyson whimpered. Ghosts were here? I don't like ghosts. Me neither, Tyson. Me and you, I'm at wavelength. Actually, I think ghosts are pretty cool, but I want to play Tyson, so I'm going to say that. We've got to find him. I don't know why, but standing at the edge of the pit gave me a sense of urgency. Nico was close. I could feel it. I couldn't let him wander around down here, alone except for the dead. I started to run. Percy! Annabeth called. I ducked into a tunnel. No, bro. He's about to get split up. He's about to get split up from the rest of them. He's about to get split up so fast. I ducked into a tunnel and saw a light up ahead. But by the time Annabeth, Tyson, and Grover caught up with me, okay, they didn't. I was staring at daylight, streaming through a set of bars above my head. We were under a steel grate made of metal pipes. I could see trees and blue sky. Where are we? I wondered. Then a shadow fell across the grate, and a cow stared down at me. It looked like a normal cow, except it was a weird color. Bright red, like a cherry. I didn't know cows came in that color. The cow mooed, put one hoof tentatively on the bars, and then backed away. It's a cattle guard, Grover said. Oh, what? I asked. Yeah, I'm lost. What is that? They put them at the gates of ranches so cows can't get out. They can't walk on them. Oh, I see. How do you know that? Grover huffed indignantly. Believe me, if you had hooves, you'd know about cattle guards. They're annoying. I turned to Annabeth. That's fucking funny. He's mad because he has hooves. What is it? God, where do I keep losing my page? I gotta stop closing this book. I turned to Annabeth. Didn't Harry say something about a ranch? We need to check it out. Nika might be up there. She hesitated. Alright, but how do we get out? Tyson solved that problem by hitting the cattle guard with both hands. It popped off and went flying out of sight. We heard a clang and a startled moo. Tyson blushed. Sorry, Cal, he called. I love Tyson. Then he gave us a boost out of the tunnel. We were on a ranch, all right. Rolling hills stretched to the horizon, dotted with oak trees and cactuses and boulders and barbed wire fence. A barbed wire fence ran from the gate in either direction. Cherry-colored cows roamed around, grazing on the clumps of grass. Red cattle? Annabeth said. The cattle of the sun. What? I asked. They're sacred to Apollo. Holy cows? Holy cows. Exactly. But what are they doing? Wait, Grover said. Listen. At first everything seemed quiet, but then I heard it. The distant baying of dogs. The sound got louder when the underbrush rustled and the two dogs broke through. Except it wasn't two dogs. It was one dog with two heads. Okay, Cerberus's little brother? It looked like a greyhound, long and snaky and sleek brown, but its neck V'd into two heads. Both of them snapping and snarling, and generally not very glad to see us. Bad Janus dog, Tyson called. Arf, Grover told it, and raised a hand in greeting. The two-headed dog bared its teeth. I guess it wasn't impressed that Grover could speak animal. Then its master lumbered out of the woods, and I realized the dog was the least of our problems. He was a huge guy with stark white hair and a straw cowboy hat and a braided white beard, kind of like Father Time. Father Time went redneck and got totally jacked. Okay, cool, jacked Father Time. You love to see it. He was wearing jeans, a Don't Mess with Texas t-shirt, and a denim jacket with sleeves ripped off so you could see his muscles. On the right bicep was a cross swords tattoo. He held a wooden club about the size of a nuclear warhead, with a 6-inch spikes bristling at the end of business. Icarus is lucky he dies. You know that. Would have been a 30-minute lecture about how he needs to always listen to his dad. Nah. I would take a lecture over plummeting 300 feet to cement water. You take a fall from that height, water turns into cement, he took a ton of bricks, breaks every damn bone in your body. Like, dude. That's a Stranger Things quote, but yeah, no, I'd rather be alive. And flying. Flying still would be cool. On his right bicep was the heel Orthus, he told the dog. The dog growled at us once more, just to make his feelings clear. Then he circled back to his master's feet. The man looked us up and down, heaving his club ready. What have we got here, he asked. Cattle rustlers. Just travelers, Annabeth said. We're on a quest. The man's eye twitched. Half-bloods, eh? It was hard to say. How'd you know? Annabeth put her hand on my arm. I'm Annabeth, daughter of Athena. This is Percy, son of Poseidon. Grover, the satyr. Tyson, the Cyclops, he finished. Yes, I can see that. He glowered at me. And I know half-bloods because I am one. Sonny. I am one, Sonny. I'm Eurytion. Okay? The cow herd for this here ranch. Son of Ares. Ugh. You didn't happen to by chance hear what I did to your dad a few years ago, or did you? No? Okay, we're good. You came to the labyrinth like the other one, I reckon. The other one? I asked. You mean Nico D'Angelo? You get a load of visitors from this labyrinth. Eurytion said darkly. Eurydian said darkly. Not many ever leave. Wow, I said. I feel welcome. The cowherd glanced behind him like someone was watching. Then he lowered his voice. I'm only going to say this once, demigods. Get back in that maze now, before it's too late. We're not leaving, Annabeth insisted. Not until we see the other demigod. Please. Eurydian grunted. Then you leave me no choice, missy. I gotta take you to see the boss. Who the fuck is the boss? Is it Ares? I didn't feel like we were hostages or anything. Eurydian walked alongside us with his club across his shoulder. Orthus, the two-headed dog, growled a lot at Grover's legs and shot into the bushes once in a while to chase animals, but Eurydian kept him more or less under control. We walked down a dirt path that seemed to go on forever. It must have been close to 100 degrees, which was a shock after San Francisco. Heat shimmered off the ground. Insects buzzed in the trees. Before we'd gone very far, I was sweating like crazy. Flies swarmed us every so often. We'd see a pen full of red cows or even stranger animals. Once we passed a corral where the fence was coated in asbestos. Jesus. Stream burps. Inside, I heard a fire-breathing horses milled around. Ooh, Percy! New mount unlocked? Fire-breathing horses this time? The hay in their feeding feeding trough was on fire. The ground smoked around their feet, but the horses seemed tame enough. One big stallion looked at me and whinnied, columns of red flame billowing out of his nostrils. I wondered if it hurt his sinuses. What I think I do like about this book is that we're seeing older Half-Bloods. We're seeing Half-Bloods that don't go to Camp Half-Blood, which makes the world feel a bit more fleshed out. Like, Half-Bloods don't only exist here. There are Half-Bloods all over the place, like they said before. But, like, Half-Bloods that graduated from camp and didn't go back there. Like, that's really cool. People Kyron would remember. You know what I mean? On the bright side, most people die from a fright before hitting the ground. Really? Is that true? Most people die from fright before hitting the ground? That can't be true. Otherwise, people would die mid-skydiving a lot more, right? Don't let Blackjack catch you looking at other horses. Yeah, Blackjack's gonna get salty. You're his favorite. What are they for? I asked. Urchin scowled. We raise a lot of animals for lots of clients. Apollo, Diomedes, and others. Like who? No more questions. Finally, we came out of the woods. Perched on a hill above us was a big ranch. All white stone and wood and big windows. It looks like a Frank Lloyd Wright, Emma said. I guess she was talking about some architectural thing. To me, it just looked like some kind of place where a few demigods would get into serious trouble. We hiked up the hill. Don't break the rules, Eugene warned us as we walked up the steps to the front porch. No fighting, no drawing weapons, and don't make any comments about the boss's appearance. Why? I asked. What does he look like? Before Eugene could reply, a new voice said, "Welcome to the Triple G Ranch." The man on the porch had a normal head, which was a relief. His face was weathered and brown from years in the sun. He had slick black hair and a black pencil mustache, like villains have in old movies. He smiled at us, but the smile wasn't friendly, more amused, like, oh boy, more people to torture. Ooh, I don't like that. Ooh, let's not get tortured. I didn't ponder that very long though, because then I noticed his body, or bodies. He had 3 of them. Now you'd think I would have gotten used to where the data be after Janus, Briares, but this guy was 3 complete people. His neck connected to the middle chest like normal. But he had 2 more chests, one on either side, connected at the shoulders, with a few inches in between. His left arm grew out of his left chest and the same on the right, so he had 2 arms but 4 armpits? If that makes any sense? Oof. I don't know if Rick just decided to include all these creepy motherfuckers in this book. He was like, it's time to scare my readers, I think. That'd be pretty funny. They've been reading. It's time to give them nightmares. The chests all connected into one enormous torso with two regular but beefy legs, and he wore the most oversized pair of Levi's I'd ever seen. His chest each wore a different color western shirt, green, yellow, red, like a stoplight. I wondered how he dressed the middle chest, since it had no arms. Interesting. Okay. The cowherd Eurytrian nudged me. Say hello to Mr. Gurion. Hi, I said. Nice chests, a ranch. Nice ranch. Percy, you can't keep doing this, bro. You cannot keep. You're gonna get smacked. You do get smacked on the dailies. I don't know. You can't keep doing this, bro. You're gonna get your ass beat one of these days. Before the three-bodied man could respond, Nico D'Angelo came out of the glass doors onto the porch. Gurion, I won't wait for... Who the fuck told me I shouldn't read this chapter on stream? Who the fuck told me that Nico is here? Nico is here. Dude is built like a 3-sided pyramid. Facts. Nico's here. Nah, this is a stream chapter. Nico's freaking... Okay, nah, I'm... All of a sudden, I was already at a 10. Now my interest is at a freaking 12. Where is it? He froze when he saw us. Then he drew his sword. The blade was just like I'd seen in my dreams. Short, sharp, and dark as midnight. Gurion startled when he saw it. Put that away, Mr. D'Angelo. I ain't gonna have my guests killing each other. But that's Percy Jackson. I love when people say his full name. I don't know why. Percy Jackson. It's just a cool name. It's just a cool name, man. Percy Jackson. Gurion supplied Annabeth, Chase, and a couple of their monster friends. Yes, I know. Monster friends? Man is wearing 3 shirts, Tyson said. Like he was just realizing this. I love Tyson. That man is wearing 3 shirts. I love you. I love you so much. They let my sister die. Nico's voice trembled with rage. They're here to kill me. What would make you think that? Nico, if I'm Percy and I really wanted to kill you. If I'm Percy and I really want to kill you, you'd be dead already. Why would I kill you, Nico? Think. Think with your brain. I know you're only 11 years old. Or maybe you're not. Maybe you're older because you look older. Maybe something happened with time. Because I know time is weird in the Labyrinth and all that. But, like, think with your brain, Nico. Think for a few seconds. If I wanted to kill you, you'd be dead. I wouldn't have told you that your sister was dead. I would have just stabbed you with my riptide sword and it'd be over. I didn't say you shouldn't. Just that you should choose. That you could choose not to. Okay. That's basically the same thing. That's basically heresy. That's blasphemous at this point. Nah. Nico is on page I interested. It's a mix of just me really being interested in where they're taking Nico, and me really liking the concept of Child of Hades, and also just people constantly talking about how Nico is their favorite character. Like, that's the thing I hear the most, that Nico's everyone's favorite character, so I'm really interested to see more of him. They're here to kill me. Nico, we're not here to kill you. I raise my hands. What happened to Bianca was, don't speak her name. We're not worthy to even talk about her. Nico's so edgy now, bro. He's so edgy. Wait a minute, Annabeth pointed at Gurion. How do you know our names? The 3-body man winked. I make it my business to keep informed, darling. Everybody pops into the ranch from time to time. Everybody needs something from old Gurion. Now, Mr. D'Angelo, put that ugly sword away before I have Eurytrian take it from you. Eurytrian sighed, but he hefted his spiked club at his feet. Orthus growled. Nico hesitated. He looked thinner and paler than he had in his Iris message. I wondered if he'd eaten in the last week. His black clothes were dusty from traveling in the Labyrinth, and his dark eyes were full of hate. He was too young to look so angry. Man. I still remembered him as the cheerful little kid who played with mytho magic cards. Reluctantly, he sheathed the sword. If you come near me, Percy, I'll summon help. You don't want to eat my helpers, I promise you. Dude, Nico is like on that shit. Nico is like on demon timing already. He's like ready to kill Percy. Like he is not afraid. Like he was like about that life. And Nico, trust me, you don't want these Percy problems. You don't want these Jackson problems. I guarantee you do not want to catch Percy's fate, bro. Like, I get it. You're angry. You're the son of Hades and all that. You can summon dead people. You do not want these problems, Nico. You do not want to run Percy's fate. I guarantee you. I have to go, but I will catch you on the next one. All right. Ah, it's so sad. But I'll see you on the next one, Shaughnessy. That's always sad, man. One thing I've heard suggested that is interesting is that they say names have power to people. So people give mythical beings nicknames to not invoke their power. So what if whenever someone says Percy's full name, he gets a power boost, like it's his legend growing? Oh, that's really cool. Because people say Percy's full name a lot. And yes, he would technically be in the same realm as mythical beings, names of power. That's really cool. I really like that. Nico is definitely a big fan favorite. He solidified being my top favorite characters because of the next series. Because of the next series. That's the people like Nico so much. Okay, I'm definitely gonna read Heroes of Olympus, and I know Nico's in that, so I can't wait to read that. Hold on. I believe you, I said. Garion patted Nico's shoulder. There, we've all made nice. Now come along, folks. I want to give you a tour of the ranch. Garion had a trolley thing, like one of those kiddie trains that take you around zoos. It was painted black and white in a cowhide pattern. The driver's car had a set of long horns stuck to the hood, and the horn sounded like a cowbell. I figured maybe this was how he tortured people. He embarrassed him to death, running around in the Moo-Mobile. That's fucking great. I love that. Oh, who are Bonnie? Who are the other two in your top 3 favorites? I'm curious. Nico sat in the very back, probably so he'd keep an eye on us. Eurytion crawled in next to him with his spiked club and pulled his cowboy hat over his eyes, like he was going to take a nap. Orthus jumped in the front, sat next to Garion, and began barking happily in two-part harmony. Annabeth, Tyson, Grover, and I took the middle 2 cards. Okay, words. Do the thing where my brain reads them. We have a huge operation. Garion boasted as the Moomobile lurched forward. Look at the Moomobile, Jesus Christ. Horses and cattle mostly, but all sorts of exotic varieties too. We came over a hill, and Annabeth gasped. Hippolycotoncrians? I thought they were extinct. At the bottom of the hill was a fenced-in pasture with a dozen of the weirdest animals I'd ever seen. Each had the front half of a horse and the back half of a rooster. Their rear feet were huge yellow claws. They had feathery tails and red wings. I watched 2 of them got in a fight over a pile of seed. They reared up their back legs and whinnied and flapped their wings at each other until the smaller one galloped away. Its rear bird legs putting a little hop on step. Rooster ponies, Tyson said in amazement. Do they lay eggs? Once a year, Garion grinned in the rearview mirror. Very much in demand for omelets. Oh yeah, Nico's never met Tyson yet. He's only met Grover and Annabeth. That's horrible, Annabeth said. They must be an endangered species. Garion waved his hand. Gold is gold, darling. And you haven't tasted the omelets. Damn. I love me some omelets, I'm not gonna lie. That's not right, Grover murmured, but Garion just kept narrating the tour. Now over here, he said. We have our fire-breathing horses, which you may have seen on your way in. They're bred for war, naturally. What war? I asked. Garion grinned slyly. Oh, whichever one comes along. Interesting. Percy I'm pretty sure Percy still like rules them. I'm pretty sure he still owns those. Sure enough, hundreds of cherry-colored cattle were grazing the side of the hill. Second. Oh, whichever comes. Oh, and over yonder, of course, are our prize red cows. Sure enough, hundreds of cherry-colored cattle were grazing the side of the hill. So many, Grover said. Yes, well, Apollo was too busy to see them, Gurion explained, so he subcontracts to us. We breed them vigorously, because there's such a demand. For what, I asked. Gurion raised an eyebrow. Meat, of course. Armies have to eat. You kill the sacred cows of the sun god for hamburger meat, Grover said. That's against the ancient laws. Oh, don't get too worked up, Satyr. They're just animals. Just animals! Oh, Grover's about to beat your ass. Oh, he's about to beat your ass. Oh, Grover's about to beat your ass. Yes, if Apollo cared, I'm sure he would tell us. If he knew, I muttered. Nico sat forward. I don't care about any of this. You're so edgy. Gurion, we had business to discuss, and this wasn't it. All in good time, Mr. D'Angelo. Look over here. Some of my exotic game. The next field was ringed in barbed wire. The whole area was crawling with giant scorpions. Triple G Ranch, I said, remembering your mark. Oh, yeah. It was. Quintus got the scorpions from here. Your mark was on the crates at camp. Quintus got his scorpions from you. Quintus, Grayson mused. Short, gray hair, muscular, swordsman. Yeah, never heard of him, Grayson said. Now over here are my prize stables. You must see them. Why? Why do you want to see all this stuff so bad? I'm very curious of this. I didn't need to see them, because as soon as we got within 100 yards, I started to smell them. Near the banks of the Green River was a horse corral the size of the football field. Percy's whole army. You're giving Percy a bigger army. Stables lined one side of it. About 100 horses were milling around in the muck. And when I say muck, I mean horse poop. It was the most disgusting thing I'd ever seen. Like a poop blizzard had come through and dumped 4 feet of the stuff overnight. That's fucking nasty as shit. The horses were really gross from wading through it. And the stables were just as bad. It reeked like you would not believe. Worse than the garbage boats on the East River. Even Nico gagged. What is that? My stables, Grayson said. Well, actually, they belong to Aegis. We watch over them for a small monthly fee. Aren't they lovely? They're disgusting, Annabeth said. Lots of poop, Tyson observed. I love Tyson so much. How can you keep animals like that? Grover cried. Y'all getting on my nerves, Gurion said. This is a long-ass chapter. Flesh-eating horses, see? They like these conditions. Interesting. Percy, of course, and a character from H.8-9 that you don't know, but all the ladies loved. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, he is pretty fire. Smoking hot mixes. For me, it's Percy. 1, 2, Annabeth, and 3 the same character from here. Really? Okay, this character's pretty popular. Annabeth is number 4 for me. Definitely love her. Annabeth is cool. Annabeth is solid. I don't know where I would place Annabeth. I think she'd probably be number 4 for me as well right now. For me, it's probably Percy. Percy, Tyson, and Grover. Those are probably my 3 favorites right now. Plus, you're too cheap to have them clean, Yurichin mumbled from under his hat. Quiet, Gurion snapped. All right, perhaps the stables are a bit challenging to clean. Perhaps they do make me nauseous when the wind blows the wrong way. But so what? My clients still pay me well. What clients? I demanded. Well, you'd be surprised how many people will pay for a flesh-eating horse. They make great garbage disposals. Wonderful way to terrify your enemies. Great at birthday parties. Read them out all the time. You're a monster, I decided. Gurion stopped the mobile and turned to look at her. What gave it away? Was it the 3 bodies? I forgot he had 3 bodies. I forgot about that shit. Gurion stopped him. No. You have to let these animals go, Grover said. It's not right. And the clients you keep talking about, Emma said. You work for Kronos, don't you? Supplying his army with horses, food, whatever they need. Gurion shrugged, which is very weird, since he had 3 sets of shoulders. It looked like he was doing the wave all by himself. I work for anyone with goals, young lady. I'm a businessman, and I sell them anything I have to offer. That's why he's taking them around, so he can get them interested in buying. Personally, Reagan is number 1. Noah, if you don't shut the hell up. If you don't shut the hell up right now. Where is it? He climbed out of the Moommobile and strolled toward the stables as if enjoying the fresh air. It would have been a nice view, with river and the trees and the hills and all, except for the quagmire of horse muck. Nico got out of the back car and stormed over to the Garyon. The cowherd Eurytrian wasn't as sleepy as he looked. He left his club and walked after Nico. I came here for business, Garyon, Nico said, and you haven't answered me. Garyon examined a cactus. His left arm reached over and scratched his middle chest. Yes, you'll get a deal, all right. What do you want so bad, Nico? What do you want so bad? My ghost told me you could help. He said you could guide us to the soul we need. Wait a second, I thought I was the soul you wanted. Nico looked at me like I was crazy. You? Why would I want you? Bianco's soul is worth 1,000 of yours. Okay, that's crazy because Nico hates Percy so much. Like, he hates him so much. But he doesn't want to... He wants to kill him for purely... even more selfish reasons than to bring his sister back to life. Like, he doesn't want Percy to bring his sister back to life because he views his soul as, like, nothing. As, like, less than. He wants to kill Percy purely because he would enjoy it. Because it would make him feel better. That's crazy. So who does he want to kill then? Does he want to kill, like, Chiron? Like, who does Nico think? That means Nico's gonna kill somebody that he doesn't hate. But you couldn't complete one quest. That's facts. Damn. But like he's probably gonna kill somebody that he truly believes is a good person. Like, what is he gonna kill? Thalia? Is that who he's gonna kill? Like, that's... I'm curious, right? Is he gonna kill a god, maybe? Like, what's he thinking? Bianca's soul's worth 1,000 of yours. Now can you help me, Garyon, or not? Oh, I imagine I could, the rancher said. Your ghost friend, by the way. Where is he? Nico looked at Izzy. He can't form in broad daylight. It's hard for him, but he's around somewhere. Garyon smiled. I'm sure. Minos likes to disappear when things get difficult. Minos! I remember the man I'd seen in my dreams. Oh. It's the dude. It's the bitch. It's the bitch. I see in my dreams with the golden crown, the pointed beard, and the cruel eyes. You mean that evil king? That's the ghost who's been giving you advice? It's none of your business, Percy. Nico turned back to Gary. And what do you mean about things getting difficult? The three-bodied man sighed. Well, you see, Nico. Can I call you Nico? This is a long-ass chapter. I didn't expect this to be this long. No. See, Nico. Nico needs to check Percy's KD ratio. He honestly does. Nico does not want that smoke. He really doesn't. He's not ready for that. Lucas Stone is offering very good money for half-bloods, especially powerful half-bloods. And I'm sure when he learns your little secret, who you really are, he'll pay very well indeed. Nico's getting double-crossed. You love to see it. Nico drew his sword, but Eurytrian knocked it out of his hands. Before I could get up, Orthus pounced on my chest and growled his face an inch away from mine. I would stay in the car. All of you, Gurion warned. Or Orthus will tear Mr. Jackson's throat out. Now, Eurytrian, it would be so kind, secure Nico. The cowherd spit into the grass. Do I have to? Yes, you fool. Eurytrian looked bored, but he wrapped one huge arm around Nico and lifted him up like a wrestler. Pick up the sword too, Gurion said, with distaste. There's nothing I hate worse than Stygian iron. Eurytrian picked up the sword, careful not to touch the blade. Stygian iron. That's what Nico's sword is made of. Now, Gurion said cheerfully, we've had the tour. Let's get back to the lodge. Have some lunch and send an iron message to our friends in the Titan army. You fiend, Annabeth cried. You fiend, Annabeth cried. There we go. Garen smiled. Don't worry, my dear. Once I've delivered Mr. D'Angelo, you and your party can go. I don't interfere with quests. Ooh, he respects the quests. He respects the law of the quests. You'll have to see it. I love how everybody recognizes quests as this sacred thing. That if you interfere with, it's like, okay, that's an issue. You shouldn't interfere with the fucking quest. Besides, I paid well to give you safe passage, which does not, I'm afraid, include Mr. D'Angelo. Paid by whom? He was paid well. What do you mean? Never mind, darling. Let's be off, shall we? Who paid them? Was it Quintus? Did Quintus pay him? Wait, I said Orthan's ground. I stayed perfectly still so he wouldn't tear my throat out. Gurion, you said you're a businessman. Make me a deal. Gurion narrowed his eyes. What sort of deal? Do you have gold? I've got something better. Barter. But Mr. Jackson, you've got nothing. Come on, Percy, pull something out. I have the ability to not beat that ass. You could have him clean the stables, Yurtrin suggested innocently. I'll do it, I said. If I fail, you get all of us. Treat us all to look for gold. Assuming the horses don't eat you, Gurion observed. Either way, you get my friend's assent. But if I succeed, you got to let all of us go, including Nico. No! Nico screamed. Don't do me any favors, Percy. I don't want your help. Shut the fuck up, Nico. Actually, shut up. Like, Gurion chuckled. Percy Jackson. Those stables haven't been cleaned in 1,000 years. Though it's true, I may be able to sell more stable space if all the poop was cleared away. So what have you got to lose? The rancher hesitated. Alright, I accept your offer. We have to get it done by sunset. If you fail, your friends get sold and I get rich. Deal, he nodded. I don't think he knows. Percy is the ultimate deal. Let me go or catch these hands. That's Percy will fade anybody on sight, bro. He will fade anybody on sight. So what is it? Okay, hold on. If they get done by sunset. If you fail, your friends get sold and I get rich. Deal. He nodded. I'm going to take your friends with me back to the lodge. We'll wait for you there. Yurtrin gave me a funny look. It might have been sympathy. He whistled and the dog jumped off me and onto Annabeth's lap. She yelped. I knew Tyson and Grover would never try anything as long as Annabeth was a hostage. I got out of the car and locked eyes with her. I hope you know what you're doing, she said quietly. I hope so too. Gurion got behind the driver's wheel. Yurtrin hauled Nico into the back seat. Sunset, Gurion reminded. No later. He after me once more. Sounded his cowbell horn and the mobile rumbled off down the trail. Okay, hold on. That was the end of chapter 9. I gotta check the page count on that. Chapter 8 rather. I checked the page count on that bitch. It's like 8. Okay, that. Yeah, that was a pretty long chapter. That was almost 30 pages. I did not expect it to be that long. But that was a good one though. We saw Nico. Mostly it was good because of Nico. But like, dude, Percy's gonna have I think Percy's gonna have an easy job, to be completely honest with you. I don't think this dude knows that my boy Percy can control horses. I don't think it's the thing he knows he can do. People are like, hey yo, horses, help me out real quick. Let's just do this here thing. Cool, like done in 5 minutes. Like, I swear this man is more afraid of an English test than fighting the god of war. Yeah, I think he genuinely is. I'm pretty sure he said that. Like, I'm pretty sure he's basically said that. Percy will run anybody's fate. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. The fact that he fought the god of war his first year as a demigod too. He hadn't even been a year yet. It's been like maybe a month and a half. You know, like he was like, yeah, gonna run your godly fate now. Like, and then he, I mean, he would have died. Like, he sure would have died if Kronos wasn't like, nah, I need him for a plan. Probably don't kill him. Like, I was like the only reason Percy's alive right now. But yeah, good long chapter, but not one that I have a lot of thoughts on. Actually, maybe I do, because like the person who paid him was, I'm thinking Quintus, right? Because Quintus is like a really shady dude. Like I don't even know. Like I'm trying to like think like narratively what would be the best way to reveal, like, is he a good guy or a bad guy? I have no idea. I've absolutely no. He's very convincingly shady. Quintus could have done it. Maybe it was Hera, but I doubt. And like, dude, Nico doesn't know that he really needs Percy's help like bad. Like, he really needs that shit bad, because you are not about to kill. I don't know who he wants to kill, but he wouldn't be killing anyone. Also, I wouldn't doubt Nico would join Luke's army. Like, at this point, like, I feel like he would do that. Do beat Ares in 1v1, then went home to study algebra. It's true. It was a conditional victory, but he still won. But dang, diggity dang. I thought I was almost halfway through this book, but no. Looking at it like this, I'm not. I'm almost though. I'm almost halfway, but it's like maybe like 20 more pages, 50 more pages maybe. Do I have any more thoughts about this chapter? I just really want to see what Nico does. It was a lot. I didn't expect it to be so long. I did not expect it to be so long. I thought it was even like a 15-page chapter. Like, but no, it was like damn near 30 pages. Like he is really, Rick is like, this chapter 2 was long as shit too. Chapter 2 was like 30 pages. Like that. Like, I did not expect that shit to be that long. Like so much happened in chapter 2. You know what I mean? But dude, this book went so fast. We didn't have time for a game. We didn't play capture the flag or chariot race this time. So he was like, let's get into this labyrinth time. It's time for labyrinth. I wonder if we'll see anything. I doubt, but I wonder if we'll see any capture the flagging in the last Olympian. I would love to see game of capture the flag again before the first series ends, but yeah, you know, I don't know what else I was gonna say, but I would love to see it again. So yeah, but I think we should just hop on into this second chapter, and probably the last one for this stream. I'm not gonna lie. But all right. Chapter 9! I scoop poop. I don't know why that was funny. I lost hope when I saw the horse's teeth. As I got closer to the fence, I held my shirt over my nose to block the smell. One stallion waded through the muck and whinnied angrily at me. He bared his teeth, which were pointed like a bear. Like a bear's. I tried to talk to him in my mind. I can do that with most horses. Hi, I told him. I'm going to clean your stables. Won't that be great? Yes, the horse said. Come inside. Eat you. Tasty half-blood. But I'm Poseidon's son, I protested. Okay, so he can talk to the horses. Good. I protested. He created horses. Usually this gets me VIP treatment in the equestrian world, but not this time. Yes, the horse agreed enthusiastically. Poseidon can come in too. We will eat you both. Seafood. Ooh, that's really freaking creepy. I don't like that at all. He's literally your lord. He can easily uncreate you. Well, Percy can't, but Poseidon can. The other horses chimed in as they waded through the field. Flies were buzzing everywhere, and the heat of the day didn't make the smell any better. I had some idea that I could do this challenge because I remembered how Hercules had done it. He channeled the river into the stables and cleaned them out that way. Hercules did this? This is one of Hercules' like 12 labors? Cleaning shit? Is this a place? Triple G. Is this a place in Greek mythology? I thought Rick made this up. One of Hercules' 12. Was this one of Hercules' 12 labors? Well, that's concerning extremely. But is this one of Hercules' 12 labors cleaning horse shit? He channeled the river into the stables and cleaned them out that way. Yeah, you can. You can control water. I figured I could maybe control the water, but I couldn't get close to the horses without getting eaten. That was a problem. Well, don't get close to them. Just throw some water at them, bro. Pick up the water like you did at the creek and throw that shit. Or at the ocean, or anytime you've done it. And the river was downhill from the stables, a lot farther away than I'd realized. Almost half a mile. That's fine. Just pick it up and run. Just pick up that water and fucking run, Percy. The problem of the poop looked a lot bigger up close. I picked up a rusted shovel and experimentally scooped some away from the fence line. Great. Only 4 billion shovelfuls to go. The sun was already sinking. I had a few hours at best. I decided the river was my only hope. At least it would be easier to think at the riverside than it was here. I set off downhill. When I got to the river, I found a girl waiting for me. She was wearing jeans and a green t-shirt, and her long brown hair was braided with river grass. She had a stern look on her face. Her arms were crossed. Who the fuck are you waiting here? Oh, no you don't, she said. I stared at her. Are you a naiad? She rolled her eyes. Of course! But you speak English. And you're out of the water. Well, you don't think we... What, you don't think we can act human if we want to? I never thought about it. I kind of felt stupid, though, because I'd seen plenty of naiads at camp, and they'd never done much more than giggle and wave at me from the bottom of the canoe, like... Look, I said, I just came to ask. I know who you are, she said, and I know what you want. And the answer is no. I'm not going to have my river used again to clean that filthy stable. But, oh, save it, sea boy. You ocean god types always think you're so much more important than some little river, don't you? He kinda is. I'm not even gonna hold you. He's kind of the son of the guy who made you exist. So, give him some props. But I like this, though. This is actually kind of funny. People who Percy is basically the king of not giving a shit. Like, we don't ever see that. We usually see, hi, Percy, like, from the naiads. So, that's fun. Some little river, don't you? Well, let me tell you this. This naiad is not going to be pushed around just because your daddy is Poseidon. This is freshwater territory, mister. The last guy who asked me this favor, oh, he was way better looking than you, by the way. Dang, you did not need to include that. That was really mean. He convinced me, and that was the worst mistake I'd ever made. Do you have any idea what all that horse manure does to my ecosystem? Do I look like a sewage treatment plant to you? My fish will die. I'll never get the muck out of my plants. I'll be sick for years. No, thank you. The way she talked reminded me of my mortal friend. Friend, you met her twice. Rachel Elizabeth Dare. Kind of like she was punching me with words. I love how Rick is reminding us of her. Kind of like, she's gonna be important later. Remember Rachel. She's gonna be important. I couldn't blame the naiad. Now that I thought about it, I'd be pretty mad if somebody dumped 4 million pounds of manure in my home. This is true. I did not think about that shit either. My friends are in danger, I told her. Well, that's too bad, but it's not my problem, and you're not going to ruin my river. It kind of is your problem, because if Percy doesn't do this, then his friends and him are probably gonna die, and then Kronos is gonna take over, and then you're gonna be probably reduced to a lesser position of power. It kind of is your problem. She looked like she was ready to fight. Her fists were balled, but I thought I'd heard a little quiver in her voice. Suddenly I realized that despite her angry attitude, she was afraid of me. Duh. You're literally her king. Like, you're literally her prince, bro. Like, she probably thought I was going to fight her for control of the river. She was worried she would lose, because she would lose. Because you can pick up the water any fucking ways. The thought made me sad. I felt like a bully. A son of Poseidon throwing his weight around. This is true. You are doing that. Ooh, I love Percy the humble hero, bro. I sat down on a tree stump. Okay, you win. Then I had looked surprised. Really? I'm not going to fight you. It's your river. Fuck, man. I love Percy, dude. She relaxed her shoulders. Oh, good. I mean, good thing for you. My friends and I are going to get sold to the Titans if I don't clean those stables by sunset, and I don't know how. The river gurgled along cheerfully. A snake slid through the water and ducked its head under. Finally, the naiad sighed. What was the name? Do any of you remember the name that I gave Percy? Like, or the name that like I stole from Anthony that I gave Percy? The King with Wings of Black. Is that what it was? Cleaning that in one afternoon is a Herculean task. Quite literally, apparently. Apparently, it is, because he did that shit. Is that where that from Hercules' 12 labors? It's a Herculean task? Interesting. Dude, Rachel is basically Percy's side chick at this point. She isn't, but she is. Like, yes. She is. I'll tell you a secret, son of the sea god. Scoop up some dirt. What? You heard me. I crouched down and scooped up a handful of Texas dirt. It was dry and black and spotted with tiny clumps of white rock. No, something besides rock. Those are shells, then I had said. petrified seashells. Millions of years ago, even before the time of the gods, when only Gaia and Erroneus reigned, this land was underwater, this part of the sea. Suddenly I saw what she meant. There were little pieces of ancient sea urchins in my hand, mollusk shells. Even the limestone rocks had impressions of seashells embedded in them. Okay, I said, what good does that do to me? You're not so different from me, demigod. Even when I'm out of the water is within me. It is my life. It is my life source. She stepped back, put her feet in the river, and smiled. I hope you find a way to rescue your friends. And with that, she turned to liquid and melted into the river. Why can nobody give me a straight? Why can nobody give my boy a straight up answer? Why can nobody give my boy the straight up answer? You could be like, yeah, use the seashells to pick them up a bunch or something. I don't know. It was for Blackjack, but yes, the king with wings of black. No, I was saying that as like Percy's nickname, like, cause like Blackjack's wings are technically his wings, cause he's Blackjack's king. Like he owns Blackjack. So like, the king with wings of black. Like he has the black wings, like metaphorically, because you get it. You get what I'm trying to say. The sun was touching the hills when I got back to the stables. Somebody must have come by and fed the horses, because they were tearing into huge animal carcasses. I couldn't tell what kind of animal, and I really didn't want to know. If it was possible for the stables to get more disgusting, 50 horses tearing to raw meat did it. Seafood, one thought when he saw me. Come in, we're still hungry. Ooh, that's so creepy. What was I supposed to do? I could use the river, and the fact that this place had been underwater a million years ago didn't exactly help me now. I looked at a little calcified seashell in my palm, then at the huge mountain of dung. Frustrated, I threw the shell into the poop. I was about to turn my back on the horses when I heard a sound, poof, like a balloon with a leak. I looked down where I had thrown the shell. A tiny spot of water was shooting out of the muck. No way! That's so funny. That's actually hilarious. Percy did some shit with his powers and he was like, no shot? No way, dude. He was like, yo, I'm sick. Hesitantly, I stepped toward the fence. Get bigger, I told the water spout. Oh, I love when he does that. Sploosh. Water shot 3 feet into the air and kept bubbling. It was impossible, but there it was. A couple of horses came over to check it out. One put his mouth into the spring and recoiled. Yuck, he said, salty. It was seawater in the middle of a Texas ranch. I hooped another handful of dirt and picked out shell fossils. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I ran around the stable, throwing shells in the dung piles. Everywhere a shell hit, the saltwater spring erupted. Wait, okay. Is this a new Percy power? Could he, like, create water by throwing, like, seashell landmines? Because if so, that'd be pretty sick, and that'd make him really overpowered. Stop, the horses cried. Meat is good, baths are bad. Then I noticed the water wasn't running out of the stables or flowing downhill like water normally would. It simply bubbled around each spring and sank into the ground, taking the dung with it. The horse poop dissolved in the seawater, leaving regular old wet dirt. More, I yelled. More! There was a tugging sensation in my gut, and the water spouts exploded like the world's largest car wash. The salt water shot 20 feet in the air. The horses went crazy, running around back and forth as the geyser sprayed them from all directions. Mountains of poop began to melt like ice. The tugging sensation became more intense, painful even. Oh, it's painful. I love when powers are painful. But there was something exhilarating about seeing all that salt water. I had made this. I had brought the ocean to the hillside. Stop, Lord! A horse cried. Stop, please! Oh, now he's your lord. Now he's your lord. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and take this bath, bitch. Water was sloshing everywhere now. The horses were drenched, and some were panicking and slipping in the mud. The poop was completely gone. Tons of it just dissolved into the earth. And the water was now starting to pool, trickling out of the stable, making 100 little streams down toward the river. Stop, I told the water. Nothing happened. The pain in my gut was building. If I didn't shut off the geysers soon, the salt water would run to the river and poison the fish and the plants. Stop! I concentrated all my might in shutting off the force of the sea. Suddenly, the I concentrated all my might on shutting off the force of the sea. Freaking love Percy. Suddenly the geyser shut down. I collapsed to my knees, exhausted. In front of me was a shiny, clean horse stable, a field of wet, salty mud, and 50 horses that had been scoured so thoroughly their coats gleamed. Even the meat scraps between their teeth had been washed out. "We won't eat you," the horse wailed. "Please, Lord, no more salty baths." "On one condition," I said. "You only eat the food your handlers give you from now on, not people, or I'll be back with more seashells." The horse whinnied and made me a whole lot of promises that they would be good flesh-eating horses from now on, but I didn't stick around to chat. The sun was going down. I turned and ran full speed toward the ranch. I smelled barbecue before I reached the house, and that made me madder than ever because I really loved barbecue. This is Texas, the land of barbecue. Whoa! I don't think Percy can own blackjack. He's his. Come on now. Poseidon's the king of horses. Percy's the prince of horses. Like, it is what it is. That's what. Come on now. Let's be real. I love that line too. Which one? God. I concentrated all my might on shutting off the force of the sea. Yeah. I love when Rick makes Percy's powers feel so epic because they are. They are, and they're so easy to make feel epic by saying like the force of the sea, because the sea is so vast, right? And you just picture like this epic struggle every time like someone says like something like the force of the sea. Every time, it's just so easy to make Percy's powers feel like grand scale because they are. So sentences like that are dope. The deck was set up for a party. Streamers and balloons decorated for the railing. Gideon was flipping burgers on the huge barbecue cooker made from an oil drum. Eurytion lounged at a picnic table, picking his fingernails with a knife. The two-headed dog sniffed the ribs and burgers that were frying on the grill. And then I saw my friends, Tyson, Grover, Annabeth, and Nico, all tossed in the corner, tied up. Dude, that's so small and so subtle, but I love how he said, I love how he didn't say, "I saw my friends and Nico." He listed Nico as still one of his friends. Percy still believes Nico was one of his friends, and because of the fatal flaw that Athena told us about, that Percy will take on the world to save his friends. Percy's gonna take on the world to save Nico, and I love that. I love that so much. All tossed in the corner, tied up, like rodeo animals, with their ankles and wrists roped together and their mouths gagged. "Let them go!" I yelled, still out of breath from running up the steps. "I cleaned the stables." Garen turned. He wore an apron on each chest with one word on each. So together they spelled out, "Kiss the chef." That's funny. "Did you now? How'd you manage that?" I was pretty impatient, but I told him. He nodded appreciatively. "Very ingenious. Would have been better if you'd poisoned that pesky naiad, but no matter." "My friends go," I said. "We had a deal." "Oh, I've been thinking about that. The problem is, if I let them go, I don't get paid." "You promised." Come on, Perce. I mean, I thought he was going to do it too, so I'm kind of also shocked. But you should have seen it coming. Garen made a tisk noise. "But did you make me swear on the river Styx?" "No, you didn't, so it's not binding." Good to know. Promises on the river Styx are binding. That's like a binding you swear on the river. Don't swear on the river Styx unless you really mean that shit. That's a binding contract. That's interesting. Because that means you'll probably... Does that mean you'll die if you break that promise? I think that's what that means, and I love that. Rick made Percy come up with so many badass lines. Yes. And I love it. I love epic phraseology, dude. The thing about Percy's fatal flaw is twice as bad for Nico, as he still feels eminent amount of guilt about Bianca. That's true. That's so true. So if Nico even told him about an eligible way to save Bianca, like an ethical way to do it, Percy would do that shit. Percy would straight up do it. Or if he told him that like he could sacrifice Luke for Bianca, Percy doesn't view Luke as a friend anymore. So he would probably do that shit. He'd probably kill Luke to trade for Bianca. Oh, with it. No, you didn't, so it's not binding. When you're conducting business, Sonny, you should always get a binding oath. I drew my sword. Orthus growled. One head leaned down next to Grover's ear and bared its fangs. Eurytion, Garion said. The boy is starting to annoy me. Kill him. Eurytion studied me. I didn't like my odds against him in that huge club. Kill him yourself, Eurytion said. Garion raised an eyebrow. Excuse me? You heard me, Eurytion grumbled. You keep sending me out to do your dirty work. You pick fights for no good reason, and I'm tired of dying for you. Yeah, cause every time he dies, he'll just come back. He's like, bitch, I'm done. I don't want to die no more. I like living. You want to fight the kid? Do it yourself. It was the most un-Aries like. Oh wait, no. No, he wouldn't die because he wouldn't. I guess he just means he started fighting. I forgot he was the half-blood, so he wouldn't die. Never mind. But still, he's so like yeah. It was the most un-Aries like thing I've ever heard of a son of Ares say. Garion threw down his spatula. You dare defy me? I should fire you right now. And who'd take care of your cattle? Orthus heel. The dog immediately stopped growling at Grover and came to sit by the cowherd's feet. Fine, Garion said. I'll deal with you later, after the boy is dead. He picked up 2 carving knives and threw them at me. I deflected one with my sword. The other impaled itself on the picnic table and then from Eurytion's hand. I went on the attack. Garion parried my first strike with a pair of red-hot tongs and lunged at my face with a barbecue fork. I got inside his next thrust and stabbed him right through the middle chest. Yeah, Percy's extremely gifted at sword fighting. Extremely gifted. Ugh, he crumpled to his knees. I waited for him to disintegrate, the way monsters usually do, but instead he just grimaced and began to stand up. The wound in his chef's apron started to heal. Nice try, son, he said. The thing is, I have 3 hearts. The perfect backup system. Shit. Fuck. Shit fuck. He tripped over the barbecue, and coal smelled everywhere. One landed next to Annabeth's face, and she let out a muffled scream. Tyson strained against his bonds, but even his strength wasn't enough to break them. Dang, what did he tie them in? I had to... Celestial Bronze, maybe? I had to end this fight before my friends got hurt. I jabbed Garion in his left chest, but he only laughed. I stuck him right in the stomach. No good. I might as well have been sticking a sword in a teddy bear for all the reaction he showed. 3 hearts, the perfect backup system. Stabbing one at a time was no good. I ran into the house. Coward! He cried. Come back and die right! The living room walls were decorated with a bunch of gruesome hunting trophies. Stuffed deer and dragon heads and a gun case, a sword display, and a bow with a quiver. Wait, is Percy gonna have to use a bow? Is he gonna have to use a bow? Garion threw his barbecue fork, and it thudded into the wall right next to my head. He drew 2 swords from the wall display. Your red's gonna go right there, Jackson, next to the grizzly bear. I had a crazy idea. I dropped Riptide and grabbed the bow off the wall. Yep, he's gonna have to use the bow. I hope 4 years of practice is enough for you. 3, honestly. He's still 14. I hope 3 years of practice is enough for you, Percy. I was the worst archer shot in the world. I couldn't hit the targets at camp, much as a bullseye, but I had no choice. I couldn't win this fight with a sword. I prayed to Artemis and Apollo, the twin archers. I love that for this power system, man. That, like, prayer is, like, gonna enhance your abilities. That's so cool. Hoping they might take pity on me for once. Please, guys, just 1 shot. Please. I notched an arrow. Garion laughed. You fool. 1 arrow is no better than 1 sword. He raised his sword and charged. I dove sideways. Before he could turn, I shot my arrow into the side of his right chest. I heard thump, thump, thump as the arrow passed clean through each of his chests and flew out of the left side, embedding itself in the forehead of the grizzly bear trophy. Especially because that prayer was extra powerful because Artemis and Apollo loved him from 6 months ago, from December, when he saved Artemis on the quest, and when he saved his sister. So like Artemis and Apollo love him. So they were like, "Oh, Percy's praying? Say less." Bet. Garion dropped his swords. He turned and stared at me. You can't shoot. They told me you couldn't. Who told you that? Who told you he couldn't shoot? His face turned a sickly shade of green. Or is it already the myth of Percy Jackson, the hero who's bad with a bow, that's going around? He collapsed to his knees and began crumbling into sand, until all that was left were 3 cooking aprons and an oversized pair of cowboy boots. I got my loot drops. I love how every monster is a loot drop. I got my friends untied. Richard didn't try to stop me, but I stoked at the barbecue and threw the food into the flames as a burnt offering for Artemis and Apollo. He's like, thanks, guys. There you go. That's so sick. Thanks, guys, I said. I owe you one. Well, technically, they owed you one, and then you were even, and now, I guess, whatever. I don't know. The sky thundered in the distance, so I figured maybe the burgers smelled okay. Yay for Percy, Tyson said. Yay for Percy. Can we tie up this cowherd now? Nico asked. Yeah, Grover agreed, and that dog almost killed me. Wait, Nico's asking? Why is Nico asking? I thought he hated us. Maybe he only hates Percy. But I looked at Eurytrian, who still was sitting relaxed at the picnic table. Orthus had both his heads on the cowherd's knees. How long will it take Geryon to reform? I asked. Eurytrian shrugged. 100 years? He's not one of those fast reformers, thank the gods. You've done me a favor. You said you died for him before? I remembered. How? Oh, hold on. Maybe he has. I've worked for that creep for thousands of years. Started as a regular half-blood, but I chose immortality when my dad offered it. Interesting. Worst mistake I ever made. Now I'm stuck here at this ranch. I can't leave. I can't quit. I just tend the cows and fight. Geryon's fights. We're kind of tied together. Maybe you can change things, he said. Eurytrian narrowed his eyebrows. How? Be nice to the animals. You should take care of them. Stop selling them for food. And stop dealing with the Titans. Eurytrian thought about that. That'd be alright. Get the animals on your side, and they'll help you once Geryon gets back. Maybe he'll be working for you this time. Eurytrian grinned. Now that I could live with. You're trying to stop us leaving? Shoot! No. Annabeth rubbed her bruised wrist. She was still looking at Eurytrian suspiciously. Your boss said that somebody paid for a safe passage. Who? The cowherd shrugged. Maybe he was just saying that to fool you. What about the Titans? I asked. Did you iris message them about Nico? Nope. Geryon was waiting until after the barbecue. They don't know anything about him. Nico was glaring at me. I wasn't sure what to do about him. I doubted he would agree to come with us. On the other hand, I couldn't just let him roam around on his own. Beat his ass, Percy. Beat his ass, knock him out, put him in a bag, and drag him around with you. Percy has powers greater and more ancient than the gods. Percy has powers greater and more ancient than the gods. The power of the protagonist, and when that fails, the power of friendship. This is true. Those are the most ancient abilities known to man. I love how Percy's archery is so bad that it has to bring 2 gods to counteract his shitty skills. That's facts. I love that too. I love that Percy's bad at archery. I think that's so funny. I wish we could see him use a bow more. I really wish we'd seen Percy use a bow more in like dire situations before this, so that when this one worked, you'd be like, oh shit, it worked this time! Fuck! Like, that'd be crazy. You could stay here until we're done with our quest, I told him. It'd be safe. Safe, Nico said. What do you care if I'm safe? You got my sister killed. Nico, you need to actually shut up, bro. Your sister got herself killed. Like, straight up. Percy tried to stop her, and she ran into that thing on her fucking own. Nico, Annabeth said, that wasn't Percy's fault. And Geryon wasn't lying about Kronos wanting to capture you. If he knew you were here, he'd do anything to get you on his side. I'm not on anyone's side. I'm not afraid. You should be, Annabeth said. Your sister wouldn't want... If you cared for my sister, you'd be helping me bring her back. A soul for a soul? I said. Yes. But if you didn't want my soul... I'm not explaining anything to you. He blinked tears out of his eyes. And I will bring her back. Bianca wouldn't want to be brought back, I said. Not like that. You didn't know her, she shouted. How do you know what she'd want? I started the flames in the barbecue pit. I thought about the line in MS prophecy. You shall rise or fall by the ghost king's hand. That had to be minus. And I had to convince Nico not to listen to him. Let's ask Bianca. Ooh! What? The sky seemed to grow darker. All of a sudden. I've tried, Nico said miserably. She won't answer. Try again. I've got a feeling she'll answer with me here. Why would she? Because she's been sending me iris messages, I said. Suddenly sure of it. Yes, I knew it was Ghost Bianca. Yes! She's been trying to warn me that you're up to so I can protect you. Nico shook his head. That's impossible. One way to find out. You said you're not afraid. I turned to Eritrean. We're going to need a pit, like a grave and food and drinks. Percy and Anathorn, I don't think this is a good... Alright, Nico said. I'll try. Eugene scratched his beard. There's a hole dug out back for a septic tank. You could use that. Cyclops boy fetched my ice chest from the kitchen. I hope the dead like root beer. Bro, I wish so bad that I didn't have to leave so I could read this chapter on stream. I wish so bad that I didn't have to read the chapter on stream. Bro. Dude. They're gonna summon Ghost Bianca, bro. They're gonna summon Ghost Bianca. Listen. I'm gonna read this chapter tonight. I guess we will see. You will see me tomorrow, but for chapters 11 through 14, because I'm definitely reading this chapter tonight. I'm definitely reading chapter 10 tonight. You will see me tomorrow for 11 through 14 though, because it's only one chapter, and I'm reading 11 through 14 tomorrow, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic. But, oof, I only planned enough time for 8 through 9, and I only thought I'd be shooting for 9. Dude, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. But it's fine. It's whatever. You'll actually see me reading it eventually. But because I'm working on a big old video with all these things. I'm recording myself reading off stream and whatnot. You'll see it. Chapter 11. I can't wait. Dude. Nah, those chapters were peak actually. I'm glad you guys recommended them to me because those are like great. Those were great. Like I'm glad you told me to read them on stream because like I love, like you said, like I could have skipped those. Nah, those were way better to read on stream, I think, because like, dude, oh, I just can't wait for dude. That's gotta be a moment. That's gonna be a big when her ghost comes back, man. I thought Nico's hatred was gonna last. Can't wait. I was worried that reading these books so fast would make you make you less excited to read more. Why? Why would you think it make you less excited? If I'm blazing through something, then I enjoy it a lot more. Like, seeing Nico's dynamic with Percy is so interesting and sad. I agree. It is very sad, especially because he was so excited by his presence when he first showed up. He was just happy that like he just thought he was the coolest guy around. Like, oh my god, you're Percy Jackson, shut up, Poseidon, oh my god, what? Like, he was like, bro, he thought he was so cool. Now he's like, fucking hate you, Percy. I will literally kill you for fun. Like, because reading 4 books back to back can give you burnout, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't know anything about that. Listen, I'm a One Piece fan, okay? We read hella shit back to back like it's our job. So, like, it's not, and I like binging stuff, like, a lot. Like, trust me, if I wasn't, like, planning that for streams, I'd for sure be done by now with the books. Like, if I wasn't, like, waiting for streams and stuff, I'd be done with all of them. But I'm glad I am doing them on stream because I found that stuff like reading Demigod Files, something I need to do after this. I would not have found that out if I didn't know that. I've been ignoring it all stream, but that is a badass shirt. Thank you, man. Thank you. Strike first, strike hard, and all that. Percy's motto. He had to grow up too fast. I always felt bad for Nico. He didn't deserve the hate he got early on by fans. Really? Early Percy readers didn't like Nico. That's interesting. I kind of get it. I get it. Because, like, you see it from Percy's perspective. And you're like, bro, he's tried his best, but I also am seeing it from Nico's perspective, right? I'm just like in his eyes, you made a promise, bro. Like, thank God Percy didn't swear on the river Styx. You know what I mean? But in his eyes, he made a promise. Like, you broke that promise. You my sister's dead because of you. It's all your fault. I get it. In little kids' eyes, I get it. Nico aged from 10 to like 16 in one year. Dude lost his childhood fast. My boy is growing. He is shad. He's a shad individual. I can't wait to read the next chapter. Yeah. I'm gonna get off stream in a second, do some business, and then I will read it tonight, and then I will see you guys for 11 to 14 tomorrow, because, like, nah, bro. I'm definitely not getting burnt out of these books. I will probably stop for a little bit after I finish The Last Olympian before I jump into Heroes of Olympus, though. Just because I want to, like, do the thing that I'm working on for this. The big thing that I've been foreshadowing. It's gonna be a big video, so I want to work on that, and then I'll go Heroes of Olympus afterwards. But I am still excited to read that. Nah, but this is great. I've been really enjoying this. I'm definitely not gonna get burnt out on Percy Jackson anytime soon. That's basically what I think about in my free time. When I'm not reading Percy Jackson, I'm thinking about the next time I can read Percy Jackson. Then I'm like, dang, can't wait to go home, freaking read Percy Jackson. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great day. But yeah. So, but I think that is where we're gonna have to end off for this stream today. 2 unexpectedly great chapters. I haven't read any of the books that come after Heroes of Olympus, so if we decide to do that, it'll be fun. Cool, because I will probably end up... I've heard a lot of people like Heroes of Olympus more than the first series, and as much as I'm liking Percy Jackson right now, and as much as I've heard Rick Riordan doesn't write bad shit, like I will probably keep reading. Like, I've had thoughts about reading the whole catalog. It's like 17 books or something, right? Because it's like, it's the first series, it's Heroes of Olympus, then it's Trials of Apollo, and then it's like, obviously the Demigod Diaries, Demigod Files, and then we have the Nico. I know Nico has his own book. And then we have, as well, the Kane Chronicles, which is a thing. And Magnus Chase, but, like, those are, like, extra, those are, like, DLC. Like, yeah, breaking it up. I can't wait for read book 5. I can't wait to read book 5, too. I've heard nothing but great things about it. I haven't read Heroes of Olympus since, like, 2014, so that'll be fun, too. Great. Great. Cannot wait to experience that one with you guys as well. That's gonna be fucking fun. But, shit. Yeah, man. I'm freaking excited. I'm freaking excited, too. But this is just the first saga. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be good stuff. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. And it's like, it's great that Rick has never had like, a fall off. Like, most writers are like, this is their worst thing, this one sucks. I read everything about Trials of Apollo and the Son of the Star. Everything is great, but definitely different, especially because Percy isn't narrating. Yeah, I'm really interested to see how Rick writes other characters when they're from different perspectives. Yeah, I'm really curious about that as well. Like, that's gonna feel very different. Yet again, another banger cliffhanger. Yes! Rick is great at those. I love cliffhangers too. So yeah. But, alright, I'm dragging on this ending. Thank you guys so much for joining this stream. As I always say, it's a lot more fun reading with you guys. It's true, I mean that shit. It's a lot more fun reading with you guys. So I can't wait to read with you guys again the next chapters tomorrow. So we're about to get 3 stream days in a row. This one, the next day, and the next day when I finish off this book. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for today. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Until next time, end of stream.